From the Berkshires to the Sound, from wherever you live in MLB America, this is Inside the Parker. You give us 22 minutes and we'll give you the scoop on Major League Baseball. Now, here's Baseball Hall of Fame voter number 57.
You have another hot take.
Will not NOT make the playoffs.
Shohei me the money.
Rob Parker.
Come on! I've been covering Major League Baseball for almost 40 years now. In New York, in Cincinnati, in Detroit, in LA. I love this game. Let's go! Welcome into the podcast, and I'm your host, Rob Parker. And what a show we have for you today. Before we even get started, remember, press this button, the subscribe button, so that you're always here, always up to date with all the best coverage of Major League Baseball. As you know, I've been covering baseball since 1986. I love the sport. This is the place for your baseball fix. Inside the Parker, sponsored by Cuffin Season. Lock in the flavor your taste buds will love at cuffinseason.us. Get yours today. And for an extra 10% off, use the code MLB Bro in all caps. Welcome into the podcast. I'm your host, Rob Parker, and what a show we have for you today. Hall of Fame shortstop Barry Larkin from the Cincinnati Reds. He drops by, talks about the Big Red Machine and what's happening there. Also, we'll have an extended conversation about Ohtani with Ron Darling and Brian Kenny and myself. We'll do that and much more. Let's go.
To lead off, it's Getting Robbed.
And keep them up.
Rob's hot take on the three biggest stories in Major League Baseball. Number one.
The Chicago White Sox, we know, have made moves and have become very respectable. Actually came into the Bronx to take on the New York Yankees, leading the AL Central after winning 4 out of 5 games against the Dodgers and the Braves. I just can't see it lasting. They've been pummeled in the first 2 games against the Yankees. Game 3 came on Thursday night. But here's the real thing. When you look at the numbers, when you talk about the White Sox, this is the issue. Not that they are not much improved and I like where they are and whatnot. They hit a lot of home runs. They're like third or fourth in home runs hit so far this season, coming into Thursday with 100 home runs. Like the Yankees lead with 109. So they hit home runs. This is coming into Thursday. But their run differential, the difference between the Yankees and, say, the White Sox in run differential, the Yankees are something at like plus 122 coming into Thursday, where the White Sox are -3. Like, look at the difference. And then go to the pitching. Another issue. The Yankees are number 1 in pitching in baseball. And guess where the Chicago White Sox are? They're number 20. So they got a negative as far as run differential, and they're not even in the middle of the pack. They're in the lower third of pitching in baseball. I don't think you can sustain it. I'm not expecting the White Sox to win that division or make the playoffs.
Number 2.
Minnesota Twins center fielder Byron Buxton should be a starter for the American League in the All-Star game coming up in July in Philadelphia. What a year he's having. 601 he's slugging, 275 batting average, 23 home runs already coming into Thursday's action. And I don't know, he's been spectacular. We know about his glove. Of course, he made the All-Star team last year. He's been a starter before. This should be another year that he's a starter in the All-Star game, especially with the idea that you're not going to have Aaron Judge, who's going to miss the festivities, and there are a couple other players injured. But even if they weren't, he really needs to be considered as a starter for the year he's put up. He's on pace to hit 40 home runs or more. He's had an incredible year, and last year was a nice addition to the team in Georgia, his home state. But this year in Philadelphia, when the starting team runs out onto the field, Byron Buxton should be running out to center field.
Number 3.
Father's Day is Sunday, and it's the best time to right now talk about father-son combos in Major League Baseball. Can you believe this? 250 fathers and sons have played in Major League Baseball. That's an incredible number. I can't think of that many in football, obviously, or in the NBA or the NFL, but 250. And of course, you always think about Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr., Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonds, Glad Valero Sr. and Jr. But I'm going to go here. My favorite all time is Cecil and Prince Fielder. And it's only because it's personal, because when I was in Detroit, I covered the Detroit Tigers as a columnist and spent a lot of time around Cecil Fielder. And the one thing about Cecil is he was just the best guy going and always was cool with the media and dealing with us. And he used to invite me out in the off season often to have lunch or whatever at his favorite restaurant and whatnot. And every time I showed up, Little League, and that guy came, and if it wasn't for the injury, probably had a good chance to get to 500 home runs with the power that he displayed and playing in Milwaukee, in Detroit, and in Texas. But when I think of father and son duos in the Major League Baseball, I think of Cecil Fielder and Prince Fielder. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Here comes the big interview. Listen and learn.
Oh, it's so good.
Now let's welcome into the podcast Hall of Fame shortstop Barry Larkin, of course, a Reds broadcaster as well. Barry, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Always a pleasure to see you. Somebody I covered as a player back in the 90s. It was a long time ago, my man.
Time waits for no man.
I know, crazy. Let's talk about the Cincinnati Reds, obviously. Injuries, Ellie De La Cruz, Hunter Green. What do they need to do to just hang in until they can get their guys back?
It's always about the next man up. So, you can't use injury as an excuse. Everyone's a big league player at this level. So you just have to start executing. It's been different parts of the game at different times where the team just hasn't been able to put it together. Injuries are a big part of it, but never can use that as an excuse.
That's fair. But if you, Ellie De La Cruz has been improving, cut down on his strike before the injury, playing really good shortstop. Just talk about his development, because I see a difference. You see him much more than I do. Is it real?
Yeah, it's real. He's, Ellie's an exceptional player. He's, a sensational player, sensational talent, but he's playing under control. I feel like Ellie played 95, 100% last year. This year I felt like he was, before he got injured, he's playing about 85%. So very well under control. He was consistent. Pitchers were pitching him away. He was hitting the ball the other way. Defensively, he was playing very good. He was making all the routine plays routinely. Everything that you wanted to see in the development of a young player on its way to being a superstar yet again.
And also cut down on the strikeouts. Is that something, Barry, you learn as you mature, not to get yourself out, not to chase? How do you get better at that?
Well, I mentioned the 85%, so I felt like he did a lot more under control, and that's what you want. The game has a tendency to slow down when you become more comfortable, and I felt like it was slowing down for him.
Our guest is Barry Larkin, Hall of Fame shortstop, and of course Reds broadcaster, joining us on Inside the Parker.
Just from an organizational standpoint, Hunter Green's presence is very important. It's nice to see Jace Burns to continue to develop as a pitcher.
That was going to be my next question, Barry. And how is he that good with just two pitches in the big leagues?
It's not just two. He's developing a third, and he's throwing a third. It's a changeup that's, he throws 100. So he's throwing a changeup with some tumble on it. It's pretty good. But I think those two guys at the top of the staff, Hunter Green and Chase Burns, would be something wonderful to see.
You guys had, not too long ago, induction into the Reds Hall of Fame. Reggie Sanders was here. Who else? Brandon Phillips, Lou Piniella. What was that like?
And Aaron Harang.
And Aaron, that's right.
Yeah. It was good. It was really nice to see those guys. It's really nice to see players that I played with, or coaches that I played for, to get their acknowledgement. And BP, I didn't play with Brandon Phillips, but I played with all the other guys, and just to see them be rewarded for not only what they did as players, but how they handled themselves in the industry of baseball. It was a wonderful thing. It's always a great job that they do here with the Reds as far as the Hall of Fame is concerned, and bringing a lot of players back and giving them their flowers. So it's been really good.
Whenever I think of Lou, I always think of the fight with Dibble and you with your towel, making sure you don't knock your towel off. Like, that video is unbelievable. You still remember that? I know you do.
Of course I do.
Is that not? I'm telling you, it's an all-timer.
Of course I do, man. Of course I do. But I feel like Lou was that fiery guy. I felt like, there was a reason why we won when he came to Cincinnati. He came from New York. He brought that fire with him. We had Pete Rose before, so we did have that. Mm-hmm. But there was something special about Lou. He really inspired us. And what you saw on the field is what was happening in the clubhouse. It was a very volatile situation. He had high expectations. He didn't accept losing, and we didn't lose.
But you were the calming force. You really were. Where did you fit in? Because you had to be the calming force. You had a lot of volatile characters and whatnot, but I don't remember when I was here for those 2 years every day. You know what I mean? You just kind of did your business. I think people followed you by example more so than anything. Is that fair?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was never that volatile guy, and, raised my voice at times when I needed to, just simply because it was time to make a statement. But, I feel like we had a lot of really good players and great personalities, and it was just a matter of managing all those personalities. And you can't do that if you're not level-headed. So that's what my father taught me, and that's how I've always been and done my business.
Last thing, being a kid born in Cincinnati, playing your baseball in Cincinnati, Hall of Fame, now you're doing the TV broadcasting here. Just, you feel blessed. It's got to be a special life. I mean, something that somebody would dream about, and you've lived it.
Of course. This is a great opportunity for me to continue to stay relevant in the game of baseball. It's an opportunity for me to be able to pay it forward, help some of these young players. And not only am I doing the team broadcast, but I work in player development. I go out to spring training. I spend time with these guys that are playing at the big league level. During the season, when the team travels, I go see some of the guys in the minor league. So I'm still involved, very much involved in this organization. It's the only organization I played for and the only one I know. So, it's been good for me to be able to stay around and be able to help out wherever I can.
Barry Larkin, here it is, the Hall of Famer joining us on Inside the Parker. Barry, appreciate you as always, my man.
You got it, Rob.
In case you missed Rob Parker.
Let's see if he talks smack when he's got Rob Parker right in front of him. Here he is.
You ready?
In the flesh, baby.
What's going on,
Good to have you here
BT?
physically. You're on the tour of the country, going to ballparks.
Yeah, I've been all over the place. I was in Cincinnati, Chicago, Yankees last night.
Yeah.
So I'm bouncing around.
It's good for you. White Sox rolling into the Bronx, riding high. First place. They'd taken 4 out of 5 against the Braves and Dodgers, and now facing an ignominious sweep. Do you feel vindicated?
Give me that word again.
Ignominious.
Okay, yeah, I need to look that up. Yeah, I feel good about what I'm not buying the White Sox. I'm not. And there's a lot of things. Run differential, take a look at it. -3.
Yeah.
Okay. Pitching, they have a chubby 4.47 ERA. None of these things add up. It's a nice start, BK. You know what I mean? And they hit a lot of home runs. They have 100 home runs. So I love it. I love the crowds
They're missing their star right now.
Right?
They're missing their star. They don't have that power
But you
right now.
come to the Bronx, if they would have been able to work over the Yankees like a burger and fries, which they weren't able to do, maybe I would buy into it. They got beat down.
You know what?
They are who they are.
They're good, though. I agree. Look, I don't think you can take this sweep, or they haven't been swept yet. Like, they're facing a sweep tonight. It hasn't happened. Maybe they take one. But any more than you think, hey, we just beat the Braves and Dodgers. We can beat the Braves and Dodgers. Like, no. But you can compete with everybody. And that's a long way from where they were. I wouldn't predict they'd win the Central either. But I like where they're at.
No, I agree. And I'm not poo-pooing, like, the successes that they've had or the idea that they're over 500.
Not a super
I just don't
team.
think it can sustain.
And if Davis Martin is losing game 1, well, then, right.
Okay, now what?
After that, right, it is that way. Tigers and Skubal, is it time to trade him?
100%. If you're not going to give him the $400 million, which I don't think the Tigers are going to give.
Yeah.
So what are you waiting on? Don't be the Angels. You remember the Angels held on to Ohtani, and they were like, no, maybe we'll be able to re-sign him or whatever, and you wind up getting nothing. Don't do that. Go out, make yourself the best deal, and move on if you're not going to make that commitment to him.
They're 6 out of the wild card. They've made this run before 2 years ago. Thoughts on that? That maybe, see, it's not outrageous to think they could get to the World Series. I don't think they're a world beater, and who knows what happens when you get in. But they're pretty deep, Rob. They're pretty good.
I don't think when I look at they should, when I look at the American League, if I thought they really could beat the Yankees going forward, pitching wise or whatever, maybe on the outside chance. But do I really believe the Tigers are going to win the World Series or go to the World Series?
They have a good talent base. I'll say that you've watched so much baseball and you watch it in real time. You know how long the season is. That's when we talk about trade deadline. Oh, they're out. Trade everybody. It's like, hold on a second. It's June.
Okay,
it's
but I will
mid-June.
say this. Did I not say to you about the Red Sox back early on in the season that they were cooked?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can look at a team and just feel that way. And in the Tigers' case, I'm not saying they won't compete or get 500 or whatever. Yeah. Do I think they're a World Series team? I do not, even if Scooble's pitching.
You could be right on that. You were right about the Red Sox. On Tuesday, I did a breakdown on the Devers trade, right? The Red Sox got the Giants to take all of the money, all of that Devers money, and they got Kyle Harrison and James Tibbs, who's killing it in AAA for the Dodgers AAA club.
That's what they need.
So I'm like, this is a tremendous trade that they then botched by dealing Harrison and Tibbs. Like, they got all that money off. Like, so the Red Sox killed it there. And what puzzles me is now, like, well, I'll just couple this with the Giants saying, hey, Devers, we're listening, and we're listening on Chapman, and we're listening on Adames. What strikes me is the two GMs or presidents here are former Major League players, Craig Breslow, Buster Posey. Aren't those guys supposed to have feel? Aren't they supposed to be the ones that know, hey, no, that's a first-round pick, we're not dealing. Hey, that's a former prospect, he's 24. No, we're good. They're the ones who are supposed to understand that, and clearly neither one did.
100%. And you would assume or feel like they should have a better feel for the game, knowing that they played at a high level and all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't always work out that way. And in this case, the trade hasn't worked out for really either team. And you look at it, the Giants, I don't know what that is, like what Buster Posey has put together, where they're going, maybe home dinner or a show, but they're not going to first place. and the Red Sox are dead. Like dead. Look at they scored they've lost 7 of their last 9, and they have gotten 2.1 runs in the 7 losses. They don't, and Fenway Park, they can't score any runs.
You know what else? They pitch well. They pitch well. Even their best pitcher is hurt, yet they have a very good staff. And they actually, getting Contreras has been excellent at first base. So like, but where are all those young guys that we were promised? Like, and they had them, and then they traded them away. All right, how about this? Ohtani and the Cy Young. I know you briefly touched it earlier, but it is going to be tough. You see the innings in the ERA. When he had a .8, I tell you what, I liked his chances. But the Miz is out of his mind. Sanchez is out of his mind. And that's not even getting to, look, Chase Burns has been great. And you almost have forgot Chris Sale and Yoshi Yamamoto, like the champs. Like, those guys are right there. And Paul Skeens will be heard from. So I'm unfortunately with you. But I blame the Dodgers. You're leaving him out there for 4 runs to bake. You get 6 innings, 1 run. Get him out.
Right, and
instead
they left him in, and it collapsed. But I think he has no shot to win the MVP.
He had a shot.
He had Cy Young.
Yeah.
Cy Young. He has no shot.
MVP's with that. Yeah.
And I don't know if he really had a shot, only from the standpoint of the innings weren't going to be there in a 6-man rotation.
But could we have predicted this super outrageous performance by like 6 other guys in the league?
No, I get that, but I think that still was going to be like, man, he didn't have enough innings. Man, other guys have pitched way more than him, and I think that was going to be a reason maybe not to vote for him. I really think deep down, but now I think it's with the other guys ahead of him. I don't know how. Mizorowski's my God, and Sanchez, we know he had the streak this year. When people get to vote, they'll think about that. I don't know how he wins.
Yeah, no, not now. Look, you're right, like at least 3 out of 4 here.
That's not bad. You know what? That's because I'm in studio, and you know what?
I'm being nice. When you're right, you're right.
When Rob was a newspaper columnist, he lived by this motto: if I'm writing, I'm ripping. Let's bring in a writer or broadcaster, old or new.
I think that most players you would look at and you'd be able to say something or kind of manage their use. I think you have less say with Ohtani. Now, listen, I think the Dodgers are one of the most prudent organizations in baseball.
Yeah.
When someone is not feeling well, they sit them down to their 100% and know that in October is much more important than anything.
True. Then why yesterday?
Right.
What are we doing?
I guess what I'm saying is that he is the outlier even in those cases as well. It's hard to tell Ohtani what Ohtani should do.
What do you think?
The only thing worse than ketchup on a hot dog is blood on a baseball. So what are we doing? Seriously, BK and Ronnie, like, I get that Ohtani is special and the Dodgers want to acquiesce and give him every opportunity to do that, have that title of the greatest player who ever played. But this was an obvious situation where they could have just said, just come on out of this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got a blister,
right.
You're bleeding, and I don't know if he's going to get to the innings that he needs, Ronnie. He's in a 6-man rotation anyway.
Yeah.
And look at the other pitchers you talked about, Mizorowski and Sanchez are having these great.
They're killing it.
Right, they're killing it. Are you really going to win the Cy Young anyway? This might not be that year. For those reasons.
Right.
And eventually, I know he wants to be MVP and Cy Young, and it's going to happen or it could happen. I don't know if it's this year. I take him out.
I just want to do very quickly. A blister isn't going to make you pass out. However, the thing has to heal. Right, Ronnie? So the more you pitch with the thing bleeding, it's like, well, you risk a setback here.
I mean, for someone who's had blisters, had nails fall off, and bleeding during a game, it can be done. It's not a big deal.
Right.
But I will say, any kind of blister, any kind of bleeding is a nuisance. It certainly affects how you're going to hold the baseball.
It's got to heal.
How you're going to shape the baseball, and that probably had something to do with those 5 hits in that one inning.
All right, so watch this now. Here's an unbaseball-y play. This is telling as well, just small things in a game. Middle of that fateful 5th inning, Cedric Mullins hits a ground ball to Freddie Freeman. Now watch Ohtani, who busts it out of the box everywhere. He hesitates. He's a little lost. Ronnie, I'm just saying, I don't think he's not quite himself. I don't know if he's weary, a little tired. Normally, he runs hard. Every play, he didn't there.
Yeah, he looked a little tired running over there, but I think he made the assumption, and it's the assumption that you cannot make. Once Freddie looked to second, he kind of shut down on the play. He figured Freddie was going to throw it.
Right.
Freddie did not throw it because the runner was in his path.
Yeah.
He thought it was much more conservative to get the out at first base, but it's really because Ohtani gave up on the play.
Well, Ronnie, Cedric Mullins is up, has wheels, right? Can run. As a pitcher, don't you have to know that, too, to maybe
head down,
be there just in case?
100%. I think the most important thing when you're a pitcher, anything to your left, I mean, even a ground ball to second, you're heading that way because you just never know what's going to happen.
See, I remember we were talking about Mike Trout. We had Joe Madden on the show, and he had a bad game, a lot of plays here and there, and he said, I think the guy needs a day off. I watched that, and I thought, Ohtani busts it out of the box, runs hard, he gets infield hits. Not a lazy guy, hardworking guy. I think he's right. Mentally, he's just a little beaten down. You could see it there. All right, I want to get to the Yankees and the White Sox. Yankees beat them again for the second straight night.
How was there last night?
Well, they'll go for the sweep tonight. They've won 4 in a row, 8 out of 9, without Aaron Judge or Max Fried. So they're making a statement. I know, Rob, we're going to talk about the White Sox. You're not quite a believer. They came in as division leaders. But take a look at this. Let's play a little. So we class it up here.
Oh, wow. Look at
Run differential theater. Oh, yes. There is something to be learned from run differential.
Oh, my.
Look at this, guys. You got 4 over plus 100 now, right? The Braves, Brewers, Yankees move it up. Dodgers are number 1. Then it drops precipitously to the rest. So is this our upper echelon? I think that's what it's showing here, Rob.
Absolutely. When you say the White Sox are leading the AL Central with -3 run differential, that is not sustainable. But when you look at these teams here, these are the creme de la creme. And look at the Yankees, the only team in that top 5, right, in the American League. They are a class hitting, and then they got starting pitching when they get Max Fried back. They're going to have a lot of pitching.
It was almost like the Yankees decided to let the White Sox, we'll let you know how good you are.
Right.
Yeah,
it's 12-2 and 10-5.
The Yankees, what they're going to add to this team later in the year, and having the injuries, of course, to the great Judge, is amazing that they're still scoring the runs the way they are. Run differential, I usually take a keener eye to. You don't have to with this. This
It matches up.
It just matches up and lets you know who the best teams are.
I wish I could have spoken to Rob Parker in 1993 and run differential by him. He would have taken my head off.
Exactly.
They did not believe in it back then.
BK,
You did not believe in it.
War, when you look at the list, it is the greatest players are all there.
All right.
You hear me say that?
I'm glad you're sold on this now.
Okay.
All right.
It took a long way to get.
We've come a long way.
Now, here's the best from MLBBro.com.
Hey everyone, it's Kelsey Cole Nelson. Be sure to check out what's poppin' each and every week on MLBBro.com. With his name on the 2026 All-Star Game ballot as a National League outfielder, 23-year-old MLB Bro James Wood continues to shine in offensive performances this season. Beyond the America 250 celebration happening in our nation's capital, there's lots to cheer about in Washington, D.C. as the Washington Nationals, for the first time in 7 years, after a 7-3 win over the Kansas City Royals, the Nats are...
It's sponsored by MLB Bro, because you need to know.
It's time for a trip down memory lane here on Inside the Parker.
Rob Parker has covered Major League Baseball for 40 years. Now, let's relive a memorable moment of his career.
In 1986, my first year covering Major League Baseball, I covered my first World Series. And it might be the most famous World Series of them all. The Red Sox and the Mets. Here I am, a staff reporter for the Daily News in New York. I'm 5 months out of graduating from college at Southern Connecticut State University. And the assignment is writing sidebars for the home games at Shea Stadium for the 1986 World Series. Talk about a thrill. Talk about a moment when I had to pinch myself. There are moments in life, moments you can never forget. Take Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. Being at the ballpark when the ball went under Bill Buckner's legs. When you cover a sport for 40 years, you will have seen so much, experienced so many moments that you can't forget. Hey, this is Rob Parker. Come back all season long, every week, as I chronicle my 40 years of covering Major League Baseball. And if you missed any episodes, go to MLBBro.com and catch up.
Make way for Weekend Wagers.
Yo, it's Sean Bo. Fire up those bed naps. Let's go. Took 2 L's last Friday like Cool James Todd, but let's get a couple of W's on this Friday, June 19th, and let's start things off with the White Sox money line over the Tigers. Yes, I know the White Sox had a rough series against the New York Yankees, but nothing gets rougher than the Tigers season this year, given the high expectations to start the year. Then let's finish off the day with another win as the Brewers, yes, the Brewers, find a way, leaving Milwaukee into the hot dome of Atlanta, find a way to beat those Braves, even with Chris Sale on the mount. I love the Brewers, and get that money line bet in for plus money odds. And for more, go to MLBBro.com.
Hi, I'm Rob Parker, the founder and editor of MLBBro.com, where we cover black and brown major leaguers. 75% of the content will be about the current black and brown stars in Major League Baseball. The other 25%, we'll take a look back at some of the great black players. On the site, there'll be a ton of great written stories and videos and features.
MLB Bro, because you need to know.
MLB fans, when it comes to Major League Baseball, no one covers it better than the Odd Couple.
Fact. I am the baseball king.
First, second, third, and home.
We're leading shows with baseball. Game over.
They don't watch it.
They don't know the game.
All in one place.
Let's go.
Right here on Fox Sports Radio.
I love baseball.
In the words of New York TV legend, the late Bill Jorgensen, thanking you for your time this time until next time. Rob Parker, out.
He can't get it. This could be an Inside the Parker.
See you next week. Same bat time, same bat station.